Today's episode is sponsored to you by A&H Provisions. Meat and hot dogs that are so good, even Goyim understand how amazing they are. It's the next level of kosher food, and the website is kosherdogs.net. Get yours, enjoy them, A&H Provisions. Welcome to And Here's Modi. Hi, everybody. Hi, Leo. Hi, Periel.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, my God. What are you laughing?
That Leo took his shoes
Leo
off.
took his shoes off like he's flying
I was
somewhere.
getting comfy.
So be comfy. It's okay. I just it'd be weird just to have your shoes on the floor.
Well, because I, for a minute, debated putting my feet on the sofa, but then I decided against that
Okay.
because that would be rude.
Where were we that people were coming over nonstop and saying how much they love the podcast?
Oh, first of all, the Jewish Republican Coalition in Las Vegas.
That was, but we spoke about
we
that
already
already.
spoke about that, but I had a lot of clout there.
Yeah, but we were in
where
Toronto,
else?
and they came
Toronto,
over.
people
All
came
the
up.
first of all, Toronto. Thank you very much. We had an amazing show there for this gig that has been in the works for
So long.
so long. It drained Leo, and
Hundreds of emails. Hundreds and hundreds.
Horrible.
And different
With
threads.
everybody.
Different
Just-
threads, different people CC'd on each thread. And there's some emails that are like big scale that like in 12 emails the job gets done. And then there's some emails where like 457 emails later the show is finished. And it's insane.
it was insane, and we were in Toronto, and it was another 40th anniversary of synagogue that I did. I've done before a 40th anniversary synagogue on Zoom.
I mean, you've done a lot of anniversaries.
I've done,
for
yes, but
synagogues.
40th anniversary of a synagogue being survived and going through it, and it was so sweet. And they had 700 people, and it was one of those, like I call them, when you open the seal. It's one of those shows. It's the first event after COVID. Believe it or not, they're still at that. Like,
Wow.
you know, I've done a few of those where I was the entertainment that was the first thing.
What I mean, it's like a little bit like yalla, no?
It's
Like
beyond
nah.
yalla. It's beyond already. What are you?
No,
what are
they've
you
had
waiting?
services and things like this, but this is like the first like gala, big scale event that they've done.
That they were done together. So it was a
I'm
big.
gonna get whiplash on this show.
Are you?
This
Oh.
is
Oh,
You
wait,
don't have to look at me. You can.
Don't
no, I
Zoe.
can't. Okay.
And it was so sweet, and there was such a nice people, and it was sold beyond, and 700 people, and the woman that was running it was this adorable woman, and this could be a good segue for us to this, and it was she comes into the green room. Hi, how are you? That was so excited. My son and my daughter and my dad and my daughter's son, their daughter's staying in the school, and they go, and generations of people in the synagogue, and she's telling me that she's the daughter of survivors and her husband's the daughter of survivors, and then she drops that next week is their 50th anniversary. And I said to her, wow, what are you going to do for your 50th anniversary? And she goes, nothing. Are you crazy? I don't want to bring an Ayin Hara, an evil eye.
Which I think we should spend a little bit of
I
time
think so, too.
dissecting the concept of Ayin Hara and evil eye, because this is not something that I was familiar with prior to meeting you.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what a Hamsa was and those sorts of things, but I didn't really understand what an Ayin Hara was.
First of all, how did you know what a chamsa was?
Just from like visual references.
Okay.
But like, but I've learned recently, it's come up in many conversations in the past couple of weeks, this concept of Ayin Hara. And I mean,
Ayin Hara means evil eye, and it's not just the Jews. What's his
Italians
name?
have it.
Sebastian Maniscalco has a
Corne.
He has a whole thing about
Malocchio.
Malocchio,
Yeah.
and we call it Ayin Hara, and it's like
Right here.
it's a thing.
But is it like a curse that you can put on someone?
Well,
100%.
Is it like witchcrafty?
100%. Thank you, Periel, with that moment of pause before you were going to enlighten us with whatever you had. But it is 110% a real thing.
Because when I'm picturing it like a fairy tale, like Sleeping Beauty, where she was like, "And you are all mean to me, and now poop," like, and then curse.
No. That's not what it is. It's like the Jews, for example, don't have baby showers before the baby's born because that's Ayin Hara.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'll give you more. If that's
really
the direction
interesting.
you've chosen, I'm in. You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Did you know when in the synagogue when you get an aliyah, when you go up for an aliyah, there's 7 aliyahs. You know what an aliyah is? When you go up to the Torah to
I
get
know
a
what an
blessing,
aliyah is,
right?
Modi.
You can't bring 2 brothers in a row.
Why
So
not?
you can't call like this one and the next one is the brother of him.
Why?
Or even the father of him.
Why?
Because you don't want people to look up and say, "Oh, look, 2 nice, good-looking boys from the Goldstein family." Because then that's the Ayin Hara.
Okay, wait. I want to circle back to what you said about the baby shower, because it kind of is like the concept of like not counting your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, that's what I was going
Right.
to say.
But
yeah.
that's something that I think is universal.
But
that's
it
not,
is universal. I think Ayin Hara is universal. Like in New Orleans, it's like, or like Haitian, like voodoo stuff.
Because it's a
Right?
real thing.
It's a real thing.
It's
Look,
a real
I'm wearing
thing.
it around my neck.
Yeah, you always-
put this
yeah,
on
you have
you
it.
put this on a baby stroller. The Sephardics. I don't
my
know
God.
if the Ashkenazis do it.
Oh my God, the Sephardic people, what they put on the baby strollers, they put garlic and every blessing from every rabbi and the picture of
This is
every
very
rabbi.
witchcrafty.
And
This
underneath
is
the
very-
mattress, they put in
They do?
all kinds of falafels and whatever. And they have a million things. It's just.
So that's why the baby naming happens after the baby has already been born, and that's why there's no
course.
baby shower beforehand.
Yes.
Because you mentioned baby naming in your act, and I've told you several times that if you were to do this act like on Netflix or something, people don't know what a baby naming is.
They
Right.
don't?
No, Goyim don't know what baby naming is. First of all, the baby's been named as soon as they found out the sex of the baby.
Oh.
They've named the baby.
That's
And-
transphobic.
That's Ayin Hara. and so this concept of waiting till the baby has arrived Earthside to then name it is not something I think everyone is familiar with.
Okay, so that's the Ayin Hara
Okay.
stuff too. But in the synagogue, just to show you know, you don't have two brothers doing the same thing, because that brings the Ayin Hara. It can come from also a not like an evil place, and not like, you know, just like when people come to the house and like, "Oh wow, what a nice house! I love your art. I love how you did your
yeah, then we
floors."
sage immediately.
I right away
Yeah,
start
yeah, yeah.
saging the house.
As soon as they leave, bye, thanks for coming, Sage.
Right. So it's also like, I mean, maybe because I'm a mom, this is like what resonates with me, but like you never talk about how's the baby sleeping. Yeah, we don't.
Baruch Hashem.
But we don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, you don't. Oh wow. Okay, but wow. There's no traffic today. Boom, there's an accident. No, that's okay. I'm talking about deep
Okay.
Ayin Haras where
Can
people.
Ayin Haras be intergenerational? Can they carry over?
Interesting.
Question. I don't know. I know you can give an Ayin Hara to somebody, but it doesn't to be. It doesn't be. I'm giving you an Ayin Hara. She goes, I wish you to be the same. I wish you to have the same daughter-in-laws as you were a daughter-in-law.
That's a
That's
a
Ayin
deep
Hara.
reference to something.
You know, but
That's
it's
Ayin Hara.
that's Ayin Hara. So you're saying
Especially
to her,
for me.
exactly. So I'm just saying, you want, you know. You just need to. That's a way to give an Ayin Hara. Now, even more interesting. Recently, I spoke with Dina's father,
Yeah.
the Rebbe.
Wait, if we have new listeners, Dina is Modi's best friend.
Dina's. If anybody's
First
listening,
of all, I told you I went back and I listened to a bunch of old episodes. Almost every single episode we've mentioned Dina.
she says
She
she never wants to be on the podcast, but she always wants to be mentioned.
Yeah, she told me that when I
She's,
met
I don't want to
her.
ever be on this podcast, but because Ayin Hara.
Ayin Hara.
No, Dina literally called me and goes, "Oh my God!" Her daughter and
Yeah.
her son-in-law sent a beautiful pictures. I was about to post it, and then I go, "What am I doing? Are you? I'm not posting this picture
Right.
because Ayin Hara." So anyway, so
you're
what was
speaking to her
So
father.
I was speaking to her father, and he was telling me about somebody that he spoke to, and he's sure that their wife has an Ayin Hara. So I go to him. What do you do? He goes, well, my mother, his mother was a big Rebbitzin, and she goes, she could remove an Ayin Hara.
Wow.
And he goes, I know 2 women in Europe that used to be able to do it, but I think they're both dead. So there are people who can lift.
This is witchcraft. This is witchcraft we're talking about.
Who can take one off?
There's women or people.
We're going to have to talk to Gav.
Do you know
to
Gav is the last one we're going to talk to because he's so not into this stuff.
You know,
Really?
So not into this stuff. So not any of this stuff to him at all. Are you crazy? Gav is our rabbi, and he's coming next.
Catholicism has special prayers that you can do to specifically reverse certain things.
Like what?
Yes.
Well, the obvious ones are like we have the patron saint of lost items, or like
Yes.
the patron saint
Yes.
of I don't know, anything you have a patron saint for. And then also there's also things called novenas, which for like 9 days or 18 days or however
Yep.
many days it is, you're supposed to say the same thing. And if you have the intention, it's supposed to do something. I don't know.
So okay, we have
interesting.
something. We have something that's if you wake up from a bad dream, if you have a bad dream, you wake up and oh my God,
Yeah.
it's a bad dream. You go to the synagogue and there's a prayer that 3 men say. I don't know. Again, I'm not a rabbi, but there is a prayer that 3 men say and it moves the energy of that dream. It's
What
a
about
real
the
thing.
prayer-
It's in the siddur.
The most interesting prayer that I have heard of from my adventures in Judaism,
That's the title of your book.
a memoir by Leo Vega, is the prayer you say when you've had a near-death experience.
Birkat HaGomel.
Would you like to elaborate?
Birkata what?
Birkat HaGomel.
Gomel.
Have you heard of this?
No.
You say it when you have like
I
a
am in
near-death
deep.
experience.
I am in
Also,
deep,
if you,
folks.
oh, he's deep in this. You say it with an aliyah when you go up to if something happened to you, surgery. Some people like even if they took a flight, right? One time I remember.
Wait, that doesn't count. A flight.
Yeah, no, a flight. You're flying.
flight is a near-death experience?
Some people hold by that it's a near-death
don't
experience,
hold by
and
that.
then I don't.
First
I
of
don't
all, we
think,
take
I
too
think
many
it's
flights
nonsense.
to hold by
I
that.
know, really. I was gonna
Near-death
say.
experiences, you had a car accident, you had surgery, you had things that was then you do this blessing. One time I was in synagogue and someone, Mori, didn't you fly in? Do you want to do Birkat HaGomel? I said, no, I was in first class. You don't. But yes, we have that prayer. It's
Also, if you lose something, you're supposed to turn over a cup.
I don't know about that, but there is an actual prayer you say when you lose something. It's a Yehi Ratzon prayer.
Is there a patron saint for selling more tickets to Mohegan Sun?
No, that she died. She died, and we cannot find somebody in Europe to say.
No, actually, can I tell you something? They're going to be great shows.
No, they're gonna be
this
best shows.
weekend. By the time this airs, the shows will have been over and done and whatever.
I'm
But
really excited.
They're
I even
actually.
got
I
my
checked
hair
the seating
done.
charts. They're not full.
that was
Like
a
people are coming
hard
to the shows.
abandonment of the evil eye conversation.
Yeah, we're
That was a
abandoning
very
the evil
hard
eye.
abandonment of the evil eye.
I mean, would you like to continue?
I'm
We can
just
talk about
if you
this all
want to end it, give it a little more respect. Thank you, and we are in. What are you doing now?
I just
What-
want to
she's
say one
summoning
more. I
something.
just want to say one more thing. My mother-in-law, for example, will not hand me a sharp object.
My mother either. She
That's
puts it on the
because she's too
floor.
tempted
Puts it
to
on-
stab you with it, probably.
What? She puts it. Yeah, you don't hand
There's
someone
too
a
much.
knife.
There's too
You
much
put it-
potential energy.
You put it on the table and then you pick it
Why?
up. I don't know.
I think that's just basic knife safety.
No,
I think so
no,
too.
no.
I think
I don't
so
like
too.
handing people knives, and I don't like when people leave knives on the counter.
Right. But that's the thing. So you don't hand scissors. You put it down. Let them pick it up. I don't know why. It's a
Yeah,
thing.
anything sharp. You're also not supposed to give your beloved a pair of shoes. If you buy them a pair of shoes, they have to give you $1
Why?
so that they don't leave unless you want them to leave. In which
Like walk
case-
out on you.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I think this is all like superstitious stuff at the
This is
end
all
of the
very
day.
I think
world
that's
stuff.
old superstitious but I think the Ayin Hara itself is a thing.
Is it just karma though?
I think it's a universal concept.
It's a little energy. It's a burst of energy into extra karma. Yeah, but you just just keep an eye on it and just be careful when people give you compliments. Just say thank you very much and know that it's not you they're really complimenting. It's Mashiach energy they're complimenting. Always
comes
back to Mashiach energy.
People.
Yes,
It all-
yes. Oh, your daughters and your sons are so beautiful and so wonderful, and they're all in Harvard and they're all in. Wow.
And then the
That's
next
Mashiach energy. You right away, give charity right away. Go sponsor the
Immediately.
Kiddush in your synagogue. Do whatever you have to do. Help somebody else just to avoid. I think that's the new way to fight the Ayin Hara. Sponsor a Kiddush.
Or this podcast.
Or this
or
podcast.
better yet,
Wow, that's
I get a
it.
raise for that
If
one.
anybody wants to sponsor this podcast, it will remove your Ayin Hara, your evil eye. Now, what were we talking about? Choose something.
I forgot.
we were talking about
ahead.
that we have to our
Mohegan Sun.
What about our sponsor?
Our sponsor, he should live long and be well with his business thriving. A&H Provisions, the best hot dogs in the world besides the other meats that they have. It's so good that even the Goyim have realized this is much better than a regular
loves
hot
that
dog.
slogan, but we've
And the fact
started
that you
using it.
spoke in the middle of me delivering that slogan is interesting.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yes, I would have loved to have gotten that slogan right out and tell people, no, Goyim, non-Jews love these hot dogs and his kosher products. They understand that it's a better quality. Jews, we know that
Because
it's a
it's not
kosher
just-
hot dog. It's got we know it's been through it. It's been what?
Glot kosher.
It's called.
Glot kosher.
Get the
It's
glot
glot
in
kosher. And Seth, we love you. And again, I tell everybody, if you want to visit his company, he will give you a tour. That's how happy and impressed he is of his A&H Provisions. And
And 30% off your first order.
30% off, not 2.3. 30%
Modi.
off of your order, your first order, code MODI, M-O-D-I.
At kosherdogs.net.
What is it?
Kosherdogs.net.
Kosherdogs.net. Okay. Now,
Moving on. What would you like to talk about?
we're like the
Modi?
only podcast where you can't really fast forward through the.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
So, but we kept it short.
Yeah. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you. Phew, you got a little sun. All right.
La Breut.
La Briut. Okay. What was the next thing we were talking about? Mohegan Sun. Let me just tell you, so this is what goes on. Leo goes, this is sold out, this is sold out, that's sold out, this is sold out. Boom. Should we add a show? Mohegan Sun. It's like only 80 tickets sold.
No. It's not, first of all, it's not that
80
big.
tickets per show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not doing as bad as I'm making it seem. It's just like we're on this sold out streak.
Right.
And for some reason, these Mohegan Sun shows are driving me
see.
crazy because they're just
Not
lagging.
driving me crazy. I know what they are. It's driving you
It's driving me
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. And then I spoke to Des Bishop, who lives in my building.
Des Bishop lives in your building?
Yeah,
That's
with his
so
wife,
funny.
and they bought the
Des
apartment
Bishop
next door.
is a fellow comedian and
Des
at the
Bishop, a fellow
we see him
comedian,
at
we
the
should bring him to the
Comedy Cellar.
podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He lives in my building. He started doing, he's planning his construction. And I go to him, I saw you in Mohegan Sun. I go, dude, I'm doing like 80 tickets a show. He goes, wow. I had 15. I had 15 per show. No one showed up to one show. Whatever. He said it was like that. Wow. He goes, yeah.
It's in Uncasville. What is it called? It's
Yehoopitsville.
It's a weird market, but look, we're trying out a multi-night run at a casino. We're gonna
It's
see how
fun.
you do.
And we're going to be hanging with Periel.
It's going to be so much fun.
Couldn't be more
Yeah.
fun.
What? This is like a trial run of a multi-night casino. That's what. That's what
It's a
this
trial
is?
run of this place.
It's a trial run for us. We haven't done a set of shows at a casino like us at a venue like this before.
I think it's
So
going to
your
be great.
agents wanted to try it out, and it's not a market that I was thrilled with. It's in Connecticut, like in a weird part of Connecticut,
What does that mean?
because it's like New York, Miami, LA, wherever, London, Toronto,
Venice.
sold out immediately. In hours. These tickets are sold
Rio.
out.
Venice was sold out to, it was 6 people. Go ahead.
So anyway, we have these shows in Mohegan Sun. They're actually going to be amazing and they're going to be really fun. But I think what's really exciting are your shows in London and in Toronto and Montreal.
Yeah, that's going to be
You sold out the Rialto Theater in Montreal.
Right.
Wow.
It's
800
800 and
seats.
something seats.
Wow.
And in a day.
And let
That's
me tell you,
amazing.
Let me tell you this email I got
Oh
last
my
night.
God. It was unhinged.
So we first of all, when are you coming to Montreal? When are you coming to Montreal? Every other comment, every other DM, when are you coming to Montreal? I finally produce a show in Montreal at an 800, almost 900 seat theater, right? It sells out, and then I get a message, and it's the wording of the message that's so loaded. It's like 3 lines, but it's like, Modi, I see you're doing a show in Montreal and it's only one night and we're all wondering why. We're all wondering why. Like there was a big meeting of Jews in Montreal and they said one night.
the VOD.
One night. And he goes, please consider adding another show. You have so many people here who want to see you. I go, yeah, we do. We have over 800 people who want to see you, and they bought tickets already.
All right.
So what do you want me? I'm going to add another 800 seat show because you and your friends didn't get tickets.
But I will tell
Am I
you one
being a
thing.
bitch?
I thank God for every moment and every seat that is sold. But then to put it all into perspective, we went to go see Dina bought seats for
Billy Joel.
Oh wow,
which
we saw
I'm
Billy
not a.
Joel.
He's amazing. He's a legend. I'm not a
I actually
huge
do want to
fan.
talk about this.
I'm not a huge fan of Billy Joel's music because I just never was.
Yeah.
When that music was happening and we were growing up, I was all into Israeli music. I was never a Billy Joel fan. Okay. Obviously, The Piano Man. Wow, what a song!
That's it.
That's it.
Exactly.
No, but sitting in Madison
So we went
Square
Wednesday
Garden
before the day before Thanksgiving. Went with Dina to Madison Square Garden to see Billy Joel.
So sitting in Madison Square Garden, and you just see. First of all, it's full. It's full. Levels. And I'm just looking across and I see one section, this one little section, like whatever it is, this where the 2 stairs come down and then above it is the walkway and beneath it is just the guardrail and that section. And I go, just to humble myself, that's the show I'm doing in.
Yeah, he's like, that's 500 people.
That's 500
That's what I'm
people.
usually performing to.
That's
and then it's wrapping around the whole.
It's a thought in this, and it was...
But I actually do want to talk about the Billy Joel show because I also am not a fan of Billy Joel. I didn't grow up on his music. My parents didn't listen to Billy Joel. Like I didn't really know, to be honest, a lot of the songs that he did. I knew like 2 of them maybe.
Okay.
But I thought, first of all, it's always impressive to see a sold out show at Madison Square Garden. It's so cool to see something like that happening in the middle of New York City.
Yeah.
That thousands of people could come together in this one space. But what I thought was interesting was watching, I mean this in not a mean way, this aging legend. I mean, he's a legend, but be very self-aware of like him being like older and like trying to keep up with what he's been doing. Like he would mention like, all right, well, this next song I wrote in my 30s when I could still hit high notes. So we'll see how this goes. And he was kind of like poking fun at himself in like a very self-aware way. And I know you're saying he does those jokes every single night and it's very rehearsed and whatever, but and then he did a whole thing where he pretended to be Mick Jagger. He was like, do you want to see my Mick Jagger impression? He like kind of like ran around the stage for like 30 seconds and did the thing with his hips. He goes, oh, and then he was like, oh, I'm tired. Like I can't do that stuff anymore. Like he was very like, I'm old, but I'm going to give you like the best show that I can give you.
Okay. So I saw Lenny Kravitz once at like a tiny little theater and he was just getting over strep throat. And he goes, I'm sick, like my throat hurts, so I can't fuck you guys, but I'm going to go down on you.
Oh, wow.
All right, we'll
pretty
bleep
much
that out of this episode.
I'm not bleeping it, but like we were just... you have
That's
to understand,
basically
that was a
what-
hard turn, Periel.
I cannot explain to you how many beautiful Orthodox Jewish women come over. I listen to you when I drive the kids to school.
Good.
We listen
Hi.
to you when we listen to you this, and now they have to. It's fine.
You don't think
to be
that
perfectly
beautiful
fair-
Orthodox Jewish women want their people to go down on
I'm
them?
just saying.
Is that allowed?
What?
Is that allowed?
We don't have to go into
All
that.
right.
Not
Well-
necessary. The thing that's cute about this whole thing is how Leo thinks it's all. I promise you, every word and every nuance that Billy Joel says has been written for him.
Of course, I acknowledge
He's even
that.
reading. He's even reading on the piano.
pointed that
the
out.
notes. I said he's reading the jokes he's doing right now.
But the
Someone
overall
wrote
theme
that.
of the night was like a very self-aware, aging legend. Like, I am Billy Joel. Like, I've had a life and a career that is like, look, I'm packing Madison Square Garden on a Wednesday and I'm in my 70s, like,
Right.
and I'm gonna do my best. And it was like that was the joke of the night.
But it's also it brings the expectation down. So he knows he's going to hit that note. He knows he's hitting that
Did
note.
he hit the note though?
Yeah, he did hit the note. It was
I
pretty
mean,
insane.
It all sounded the same
It
to
was
me.
pretty insane. What he did with his face to hit that note was unnecessary. But
But the best part of the night, because he like remarried some 40-year-old woman.
Yeah.
He's like in his 70s and he married some 40, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
but
wrong.
Nothing wrong. We don't judge.
we love an age gap.
It's fine. But he was like, oh, my daughters are here. They love this song. Why don't you come on stage? And I'm expecting some like 25-year-old to come up. These were like toddlers. They're running on the stage.
12.
Like,
If they were 8 years old,
they were younger. They had to be like 6 years old. These girls.
that's 6 years old.
Yeah.
They were running on stage. His kids
were-
in between his legs and the piano.
What
It was
did you
so
say?
cute.
His wife's going to be changing their diapers and his
And
at the
his.
same time.
That joke's not offensive, though. What I said is not okay. But that's
everything's okay. You can say whatever you want. I'm just letting you know that there's like all these beautiful women that come running to us. Oh my God! When I take my walks in the 5 towns, I always have
To
you
be
guys
clear,
on.
though, every episode I upload, I mark as explicit content. There's a
you
check
do?
bar. There's a check box you have to click when you're uploading the episode that says, "Does this episode contain explicit content?" And every single episode, I've checked yes, just so that no one can say anything.
Oh.
And so when you look at it on Spotify or whatever, there's a little E next to it, like you're listening to Eminem or something.
I'm not on board with this at all. We have talked about ketamine and drugs.
In a pharmaceutical,
and-
in a
No.
with an MD on the show.
Oh, wait,
with an MD on the show.
Not just him. All sorts of illicit behavior. And
That's my memoir. All sorts of illicit behavior.
No, that's your second one. Your first one is
so
My
many books
Adventures
coming out.
with Judaism. You have so many books coming out.
He has so many books.
Trying to keep up with you, Periel.
Wait, what were we just saying?
talking about Billy
Joel was it's so absolutely mind-boggling amazing. First of all, but I'm just telling you, every line he wrote was written. The Mick Jagger thing, I promise you, he was imitating him with a bunch of friends, and his producer said, we've got to do this imitation on the show, and that's how it went. And even the way he says to the guy, no, what's the other song? They know.
I
They're
know.
gonna be playing the other
I
song.
know it's all been micromanaged and rehearsed to within an inch of
1,000
its
years
life.
ago, 1,000 years ago, I was in Vegas for whatever reason it was. I don't even
Jewish
remember.
Republican Coalition?
It was some kind of a gig way off the strip, and we went to go see what's his name? That hootenanny.
Hootenanny.
Don Kishane. Oh, Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne, not Wayne Gretzky. It's a soccer player. Wayne Newton.
Wayne Gretzky is a hockey player. Wayne Newton.
Yeah.
Wayne Newton. He sings
have
Don
no idea
Kishane.
what anyone's
And at the
talking
end
about.
of the show, we were with somebody who had connections to the show. So
Yeah.
we got there for free, and we can and he finished the show. Turns to the guy on the piano, whoever the hell he was
Yeah.
talking to, goes, "What an amazing night! Wow! I'm like, are you guys going anywhere? Do you guys mind if we do an extra song or two? I haven't done this in a while. I'd love to just do this." And he did it. And my friend that we were with, I'm not going to mention his name. He goes, he says, "Wow, how lucky are we that we came to this night?" I said, "You are the dumbest person I've ever met in my
you're
life."
just jaded by showbiz, Modi. Let
And
people
then
believe
he
in the
said,
magic
"No,
of
there's no
theater.
way." He's looking. And I said, "Can we come back tomorrow to the?" And we came to the end of the show and did the same exact thing he did.
No, when you're doing a show of that scale, every second is accounted for.
Yes,
You don't think there's any
we had lunch with our friends just now, Ron and Mira from Israel, who cousins who just saw
Bliana.
Adele.
Yeah.
They just saw
I'm so
Adele, and they
jealous.
just said it was. every moment of what you're supposed to be feeling is already planned.
You don't think there's any like improvisation in any of those like huge shows? Like you really don't think that like when the Stones get up there, they're like fucking around a little bit?
Yes, there is. There is
Okay.
a little bit, but
No,
Billy
but
Joel,
even the little bit is accounted for. Like
Yes.
if you're gonna fuck around, you have 15 seconds in between these two songs. Maybe have some banter, and then we're gonna cue in the next song.
It was the Wednesday
I
before
think.
Thanksgiving, so he even mentioned how bad it is to work on Thanksgiving. So that he can only do on that night.
Sure.
So he says, I'd be sitting up here and people would be burping and farting and I'd be hearing it and
it's kinda
smelling
gross,
it,
actually.
which is kind of
Ew.
gross, which is probably was not
was-
written for him.
it
That
was
was his
gross.
own improv. But
Right.
people were laughing. He could have said, boo.
I will say there was not a single person of color in that audience.
There, we really noticed. We looked around.
Not
there was
one.
not one black human being in that room. And to,
it was
to
kinda
make up
creepy,
for
actually.
it was a little scary. Well,
Yeah.
Not scary, but it was like a little weird. And then he had this percussionist, this beautiful woman of color, and she played the bongos and then sang a song. And like, oh,
No, but in the audience,
In the
it
audience-
was like it was giving Trump rally. It was a little,
it was
a little
no,
scary.
it
Minus
was just
Kanye.
Oh God.
It wasn't. It was what it was. Okay, something else I want to talk about. There was a passing away of a comedian
Yeah.
this week. You know who?
The I forgot his name. The
Freddie Roman.
no, somebody else.
Who else died?
Wait, maybe not. Maybe it is Freddie. Though he was 85.
85. Yeah, Freddie
okay.
Roman.
Okay.
Freddie Roman passed away,
Yes.
and he was a friend. I hadn't seen him in a few years. But when I began doing comedy, he was he was Freddie Roman. He had been performing for years and years and years. A Catskill comic, 100%. These are comedians that made livings without having to be on TV ever. And he was the sweetest. And he was, I think, the dean or the whatever of the Friars Club.
Right.
And so now when I began doing comedy, the Friars Club was like looking for new members, and we had all kinds of events. And by events, they had a dinner, and they had like me, Jeff Ross, whoever do a set, you know, and he was so sweet, Freddie Roman. And one of my favorite Freddie Roman stories I'm going to tell is that at the Montreal Comedy Festival, they had this show called the Bar Mitzvah Show.
Okay.
And it was one day, but it was either 3 or 4 shows.
Okay.
And they had about 5 comedians and the host. And 2 years I was on it, he was the host for 2 years. Adorable. Came with the suit. Already an older man, but then he probably was 70 or something. And whoever the comics were, was me, Elon Gold maybe. And one year, and I think I'm going to mention his name, Orny Adams was on the show.
Okay.
And this was right before the movie Comedian was coming out. So Orny Adams was waiting for this big release of this movie that him and Jerry Seinfeld, who was at his height, the show just ended. Jerry Seinfeld quit the show. Done. We're done. That's it. Imagine. And now this movie's coming out. Orny Adams was in it, and Orny thought he was the thing.
Okay.
He thought he
ego.
was it. He came in with this crazy hat and this shirt. This is beneath him to do the bar mitzvah show. And now keep in mind, it's 3 or 4 shows. The first shows are 12:30, then a 3:30, and then a 7:30.
12:30
maybe
in the afternoon?
All 3.
Wow.
Well, 12:30, 3:30, a 7:30 for the evening one, and maybe one after. I think it was. Freddie comes in. 3 shows. What are we doing? Vaudeville? Which was just hysterical. Which was just, to me, I thought it was hysterical. And he was so sweet. And we're sitting and now we have a date together in the green room. And Orny comes in, and he saw the audience for the 12:30 show. Now, a 12:30 show is an older audience. If there's anybody young there, it's because they brought their grandparents or their parents. So it's an older crowd, but sweet and nice and taking their time to get in their seats and ordering their drinks and opening their candies. And Orny sees the room and goes, wait, people are all old. This is an old room. And he's freaking out. And he's like, he's like pacing through the room, going upstairs. I want to speak to my manager. His manager at that time was George Shapiro, and I don't remember. I think Orny had cards that said "I'm with George."
Okay.
Like that kind of that was the vibe. I think Orny's changed and probably doing great, and I hope he's wonderful and all that. And he's a great guy and funny as hell. And Freddie saw that this was a situation. This kid just running around here making, and all the other comments were just like, just do your show. I mean,
Right.
And Freddie goes, hey, you little prick. And like, it was just completely not Freddie's like his, he goes, hey, you little prick. Them being all, that's not their fault. If you can make them laugh, do it. If you can't, take yourself off the show.
Wow.
And it straightened Orny out. And Orny didn't sit with us the rest of the show, whatever it was. But that was like one of my, if that's like my bang,
I love that.
My memory of Freddie Roman, yeah.
That's such a great story.
And then he started the show. I remember the last show he began, it's so wonderful to see you here. What a delicious looking audience. That's how his style was. Delicious looking audience. We did 3 shows today. The first show, the average age was deceased. Then their kids came. And now their kids, here you are. It was like, it was very that. And it was just an adorable human being. And
Speaking of older, adorable human beings,
yeah.
how's Carol? Is she? I saw her at Zabar's and I was dying. For those
what
of you
was
who
she
don't
talking
know,
into?
Periel has an alter ego named Carol who is making her rounds. She's getting around. She's getting out
She's
there.
hitting those nursing homes.
Is she hitting her nursing home? What is she doing besides Zabar's?
That place that Cuomo cleared out
What?
during COVID, where all those people died.
What?
That nursing home uptown.
You're performing in nursing homes?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Just kidding.
Oh,
No, but you did go read to. You,
wait, I'm not in this joke.
no, because you don't pay attention to what's happening.
I watched Carol. I watched Carol in Zabar's.
Yeah, what was that contraption you were
Carol's
wearing?
okay not having a punchline sometimes.
because the punchline is the
Carol
voice.
standing in Zabar's asking, obviously sponsored by Zabar's, asking, "Is there anything good to eat here?" In Zabar's, where there's everything is good to eat there.
First of all, she's not really sponsored by
Oh,
Zabar's.
well, you're doing a show with Zabar's.
Well, they're providing the food, really.
Wait, but I told
was
you my
really-
Zabar story, right?
No, I was
about
in-
the kid.
oh,
It's Willie.
it's genius.
Yeah. So when the summer that I met Modi, I was interning at Creative Artists Agency, CAA, which for those of you who don't know is a big entertainment.
It's the entertainment agency.
They represent movie stars and musicians and
This is
comedians.
hilarious. This
It's a big
story.
agency, and I was interning there in the music department.
I can't believe that's how the intro to this thing. I have to help. So this agency gives 12 internships a year, and over 3,000 people send their resumes.
Right.
3,000 send their resumes. Most of the ones that get it have a major connection.
Right.
like me.
So- no. No. Leo got it because he's
Right,
Leo
he's
and
like-
Bill.
I
Right.
like sent a carrier pigeon from Georgia, and somehow they like
Right. No. But it
He-
is like
he-
people start out in the mailroom of these companies and work their way for years to become agents,
Yes.
and it's like a huge internship.
It's very
to land.
prestigious
Yes.
internship for the entertainment world.
And you're missing my point.
Oh, I thought that was the
12
point.
people get this. 1, 2, or 3 of them is because literally their parents work in, their father's an owner of CAA.
Right.
Or they're like
The
a
other one-
producer.
The other one is the producer of somebody that they have to kiss ass to, so they gave the kid a job. Then there was this kid Zabar, maybe because whoever likes to eat Zabar, they order Zabar, I don't know. Or maybe and then there's a few who actually really, really deserve it. And Leo was one of them. Leo had no connections, lives in Georgia, goes to not an Ivy League school. Where'd you go to?
Go Dogs.
What was that?
No, it's not at University of Georgia.
University of Georgia. And
Go
he got
Dogs.
this internship.
but one of the kids was Willie Zabar.
Okay.
And he was in the comedy department. And
So
so we were
funny.
in like our little graduating class of interns. We were all hanging out together, like in the lunchroom and everything all the time. And he was always very nice. But I remember
is
him
very
telling me, I'm Willie Zabar of Zabars. Like that's how he introduced himself. And I'm a guy from Georgia. I'm in New York for 2 weeks. And I was like, what's Zabars? And he was so offended that I didn't know what Zabars was. And now I see that he's doing comedy, which is sweet. But when I saw him on the poster for your lineup, I was like, there's no way.
That's so funny. You're like, I'm Leo Vega of Vegas.
Yeah, he's like, I'm of Zabars. I was like, what is
The most
Zabars?
entertaining things I think that whole summer was when Leah would tell me the stories of what went on with the interns, like what
I
they
could
had
write a
them
book
do.
about that summer. I could write a
So
book.
there was one girl
Interning
there
at
that was
CIA.
literally, I'm not
Don't-
mentioning names ever, but she was the connection situation.
Okay.
And she's staying in her parents' massive apartment and whatever.
Yeah,
and
one time after work, she was like, "Do you want to come over?" I went over. It was like a 3-story penthouse, like somewhere on the Upper East Side, with like a grand piano in the foyer. And I was like, "Does your family live here?" She goes, "No, just me and my brother sometimes." I was like, "Whoa,
Where
like,
is she now? Does she want to sponsor this podcast?
Not
get-
too many. Let's not get too deep into this. But he tells me the story about one day when she realized that the time difference that there is a time difference between
New York and
New
LA.
York and LA,
Stop
and this
it.
is
Yeah.
a college student.
Yeah."
She said, "Why can't we make the call at 12 to them?" And he goes, "That's when Lee goes,
Yeah,
that's when I
that's-
realized she did not know
I
there
was
was
like, "Oh, like she didn't know that there was a time difference."
between
Wow.
yeah."
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? That's actually.
That's amazing.
That's
And you
amazing.
understand
That's
she was a
amazing.
connection.
That's amazing.
It was that kind of like just complete living in an alternate dimension
right.
reality of like of people.
Orange
that-
juice.
Yeah.
Orange juice.
Tell them the orange juice.
There's
There's two types of people in
Two
the
types
world.
of people. If you want to know what somebody is in this, are they in that world or your world? Ask them simply, where does orange juice come from? Periel, where does orange juice come from?
Oranges.
You're my type of people.
That's it.
Do you know what she would have said?
The store.
The kitchen.
Nuh-uh.
The fridge.
The kitchen, the
The
fridge.
fridge. She doesn't give a damn how it got there.
Right.
She has no.
I got you.
Is not
So
her
there's
problem.
the kitchen people and
Yeah.
there's the orchard grove people.
In your head, you're thinking, I'm not going to say seed because that's what they want me to say seed.
No, it
I'm
didn't
not going to
even-
say a tree because then that's where they think I'm going to go. But I'm going to say oranges.
No, it didn't even occur to me to say anything else.
But there's people who, when you say oranges come from when the nucleotides of the element of the seed, blah, 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 and that's and then there's this like, where's
Which, by
oranges
the
come
way,
from?
she taught me a lot of important lessons.
Whole Foods.
I
that's
can't
her-
wait to hear these. What were the point lessons she taught you?
She taught me a few things.
Yeah.
Mostly that people who are dumb have a better time. And I've told you before, I'm just embracing dumb bitch energy.
Which you don't have.
I'm not a dumb bitch, but if you just embrace the dumb bitch energy
Yeah,
a little
but
bit,
you can't do
You
it.
can't
if
do that. You-
can't.
you
It
don't
doesn't
have
work
it in
like
you.
that.
life is a little
You
easier
don't have it in
when
you.
you're just like, you know what? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the folder. No, that's the folder.
Even if
we
I
have.
do know in the moment, I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're right. But
No.
you can't. I can't do that. You can't do that either.
Oh, I've been practicing.
You,
though.
we have a. I don't know if we've. I spoke about this on
have we told you about the folder?
the folder.
No,
we
what's
have
the-
we have a folder.
Guys, this is good relationship advice.
This is probably worth the whole episode if
Yeah.
anybody's not listening to this. It's called the Not My Problem folder. It's a manila folder that exists.
It's a metaphorical.
It's a metaphorical
manila folder.
And so when you're sitting, like let's say I'm sitting with somebody and with Leo's there too, I'm like, no, what you should do, no, bring your car in earlier. This way the guy can change the tires and then Leo go folder. I was, good luck with your car tomorrow. Like I'm now calling up the dealership for
Yeah.
him to bring the car in. It's anything. It's like
Yes.
anything. It's when you're trying to solve someone's problem and you realize
you find
you're
yourself
about
getting sucked into someone else's problem, and
Yes.
you realize it actually has nothing to do with you. You put it in the not my fucking problem folder.
I love
and then you
that.
close the cabinet drawer.
Love it.
And
And
you
you're
just walk.
done.
That's dumb
and
bitch
shred.
energy.
Don't forget to shred once in a while.
Every once in a while, you have to shred the folder and start over.
But and then there's a not my problem, but I wish you the best.
Oh, that's a separate
That's
folder we invented.
yeah, it's like I do wish them the best, but I don't have the capacity to get involved in this
Right.
problem.
These are called boundaries, guys.
Right.
Boundaries,
Yes,
folders,
yes.
and then
But
there's the
Just
people
like-
you love whose problems actually are your problems, and you
Yes.
devote your energy and your bandwidth.
and you make phone calls to doctors and you make appointments for them and you get involved in it and you get I'll meet you there and I'll
Yes,
help you out.
I'll run an errand for you.
exists. That's Mashiach energy. But Mashiach energy is also to just put somebody's problem that's not
Yes.
your problem.
Sometimes you're doing people a favor by reminding them that this is their problem.
Right. Well, I think that when people start to do that in general, it's almost always about them. It has nothing to do with you, right? Like when people start to like try to like put their shit on you, that's
100%.
That's
There's people.
That's them.
There are people who also operate in the world with this, like, everyone in my vicinity is there to help me.
Wait, so
Like,
what did this
Periel,
girl
you're going
do?
uptown. Would you mind dropping this pair of pants off at my tailor for me? Like, there are
Right.
people who operate like that.
like that.
And it's crazy to me.
We knew somebody like that, and it's not only that, they have a special trick that they do that's insane.
Yeah, they're
It's-
psychopaths.
It does. They're psychopaths.
Sociopathy.
So they'll tell you somebody you just met. Could be someone you just met at a dinner, and they start sharing with you. And my boyfriend left me, and my husband left me, or my wife left me, and I'm not feeling it. And they start crying.
Right.
And that-
I've
so
met,
that
yeah,
you-
There's
it's
actually a word
mess.
for that. It's called trauma dumping.
It's trauma dumping. They trauma dump, and now you feel like
Yes,
you
I know-
have to help.
I know
and,
people
oh my god,
like
I know a
this.
shrink you should see. I know this thing you should see, and you get involved.
Oh
and
my
they're-
God, I know somebody.
Yes,
like that.
wormhole. It's a
you know
wormhole.
them. It's a trauma dumping. It's a crazy people, and you need to cut them out of your life or set those massive boundaries.
That's where the
Right.
folders come in.
But the folders for you, it's your own boundary. The folder, yeah.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
but so what else did this girl teach you? She taught you dumb bitch energy?
Well, I taught her that LA was in a different time zone. And then, but something
adult.
else that I thought was very interesting was, we do this again. I don't mean to sound annoying, but it's like a prestigious thing to be a part of this program.
Why is that
And-
annoying?
And so, because some people don't know what CIA is, it's
Well,
like it's
they-
not like I was at MIT. It's like it's.
No, just so this audience understands, this audience that has kids, it's imagine your kid is looking for an internship and you make every phone call in the world.
Yeah, my
to-
parents didn't even know what CIA was.
Yeah, his
I just-
he got it because he wrote his resume out right, and so in other words, there's 12 positions. Let's say 6 or 5 are done because they have to give favors to people. So now there's really only
Yeah.
another 6 or 7 positions
For
left, and Leo to get that shows that he
Georgia.
was from Georgia.
Yeah,
That
everyone
means
else was like-
his grades were good. His what's that?
I got it. I got the internship because I had the summer before that I interned at Sony Music.
Here's the thing.
that's
It
why I
is
got
for
it.
the entertainment industry, it basically is like MIT.
Yes. Okay, that's a good way of putting it. So if in the entertainment industry, this is like going
Harvard.
to MIT or something. So at the end of the summer, they had a workshop with again these 12 kids that we've been hanging out with all summer. Zabar was there.
Hi, Willie.
And it was a resume workshop, and they wanted to kind of curate how we were going to word our experience of what we did there that summer. So that way, when they unleash us out into the world, we're not saying crazy things like, well, when Nicole Kidman was having a breakdown, I delivered her Xanax. You know what I mean? So they wanted to they wanted to be like, what do you think you did this summer? And then they would like kind of shape it a little bit
It's
for
like
us.
Scientology. A
Like
little
they
bit.
wanted to make sure we weren't going out there with like crazy stories. I think is
CIA,
what.
yeah.
So we had like a resume workshop, and they helped us with our old positions, and then they helped us with what we're doing now. And they said, show up with your current resume. So I show up with my 1-page resume because that's how long resumes are supposed to be.
especially when you're 12 years old.
And we were in college. And I had done like a few internships before, but whatever. This girl shows up with a stapled 6-page resume. And we're flipping through it.
Yeah.
And I go, this is a lot of stuff. Like, why do you have such a long resume? And they said, yeah, ideally it should be 1 page. And she says, well, how am I supposed to fit all of the stuff that I did in boarding school on here?
Oh my God.
And then I looked at the resume. It was like equestrian and like rowing team
Of course.
and volleyball and like everything she's ever done, like
It's
was listed
so
on this
funny.
resume. It was like literally stapled, like as a resume, and like nothing applicable to like what we were talking about or what we had done. Anyway, that's when I just also realized, like me, I'm like 1 page. This is what I did. This is where I was. She was like, one time I helped with the volleyball equipment at my boarding school.
Oh my God.
One
in
time I
Switzerland.
went to the actual supermarket by myself.
To buy orange juice, to buy
it was
orange
like
juice.
any experience that she'd ever done. Like one time, oh my gosh, that's like one time in college, my very first weekend in college, I met my roommate that I was going to be living in my dorm with. And we went out to eat after we finished moving in. We went to like a pizza place, and I put my ATM card down, and he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "It's an ATM card." And he goes, "Oh, my parents gave me one of those. Hold on." And he like searched through his bag, and then he goes, "Okay, now how do I use it?" And I was like, "Have you left the house ever?"
my
Like,
God.
I don't understand how these people function.
Well, they have
Wow.
people that do everything for them.
No, you had it at your business before this. You had an assistant that you gave her we were giving her paychecks, and she wasn't depositing them because she had no idea
Because she didn't know how.
to deposit checks.
Yeah. And she
talking
also
about-
didn't need to because she was getting
Yeah, obviously. if you don't know how to deposit checks, it's
it
because
was
you
very
don't need
Karen
to.
Walker in
Very Karen Walker.
in Will and Grace, where she's
Never
it
saw
works
that
for
show.
Will for Grace at one point.
Right.
Doesn't the same exact plot line happen where Grace is like, "Why aren't you casting these checks?" And she's like, "I don't know. I don't even know where they are."
Yeah, she doesn't know. She just here you go. Okay, it's like thank you.
I think she never cashed any of them.
No, I don't
The
know.
assistant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like anyway, whatever.
Anyway, so
But Dumb Bitch Energy is
Dumb
the
Bitch
name of this
Energy.
podcast.
Enjoy it if you have it.
Episode.
How are we doing on time? I didn't check. 50 minutes?
10.
10 left?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
so we're done. How fun.
Great.
That flew by. Everybody, where are we, what do we do? Mohegan Sun was great if you're hearing this by now. Mohegan Sun was amazing.
Mohegan Sun was is gonna be. I'm telling you,
Liddy.
it's lit.
gonna be fun.
If you are listening to this, December 14th, Miami, the Chosen Comedy Festival.
Oh my God, how much fun.
Please get your tickets for that.
Hold on. 14th of December in Miami. It is gonna be so much fun. Me, Elon Gold are hosting it. Jessica Kirsten, Judy Gold, Eric Newman's gonna be on it, and also singers. We have I know Matisyahu, I think his son, and Gad Elbaz and Nissim
it's
Black. So
quite the
also
lineup.
music fans. It's amazing thing for you guys to be. It's gonna be. That is truly Mashiach energy. The Chosen Comedy Festival. So
Yeah.
please be there and say hi.
And then I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just because like your holiday show and stuff in Boca is sold out. The Palm Beach Improv on February 2nd, we're at like 85% sold out. This is your warning.
Palm Beach Improv.
So if you live in Florida and you would like to see that show, I'd get your tickets
How
now.
horrible am I just yelling out after he
Yeah, you
makes the
don't have to
announcement?
comment.
Palm Beach Improv.
London is
Stinks.
basically sold out except for the 9:30 show on the 28th. There's like
And there's single seats all over. It's like this massive theater, and there's single seats all over, like that are driving Leo insane.
comments every time. I'm trying to get through this lineup.
Go ahead. I'm aiding.
If you're going to go to the London show, you go to the 9:30 show on the 28th because you have the most options. Everything else is basically sold out. There's like, unless you want to go by yourself. And then Tempe Improv.
Tempe Improv.
I don't know how to say this.
This is
He
my
thinks it's some
favorite part
vegan-
of the show,
it's a
by the
vegan-
way.
It's a vegan
In Arizona,
improv.
if you live in Arizona,
Tempe.
March 12th, Tempe. And then March 22nd in Montreal, that's also sold out. And then the 23rd in Toronto is sold out. So basically,
So basically, you
wait.
can't come.
But if you would like to know about shows, go to modilive.com, fill out the contact form. Make sure you check the little button that says send me updates about future shows, or else I have to go in and manually change it, which is annoying. And if you send me a little message about where you live, I'm doing my best to create little sub lists of geographic listeners so that I can specifically send you information that only pertains to you, so that I'm not clogging your emails with shows that you
See
can't
how
go
he
to.
thinks about the
It's
people.
amazing.
It's amazing.
And also, don't forget to rate and review this show
Actually,
that
you know,
we're
I-
listening to.
Yeah, but you know what? I said that last time and our rating went down.
You're kidding.
Yeah, some putts gave us like a 3-star.
Okay, well,
and-
can't you take that off?
Oh, from
No,
five,
you can't
from five
take it
to
off.
3 now.
Yeah, we
went
were
from-
like 4.9 and now we're like at 4.6.
Okay, well, don't rate.
That happened to me on Cameo. One miserable human being who's preventing Mashiach from coming. There was one. I did like 500 cameos, and they were all 5 and
Yeah.
tips, and they sent me tips
Yeah.
like $3. It's so sweet, and tips. And this one woman, I don't know why she
was having a bad
she having
day.
a
What did
bad
she
day.
say? I have to
I
know.
forgot, but she was the most horrible person in the world, and poo on her and Ayin Hara. No, God
Oh,
forbid.
whoa,
God
whoa.
forbid. God forbid.
No, but if you are enjoying the podcast, if you rate and leave, if you rate it on whatever platform you're listening on, it does help it get pushed to new listeners. So it helps us reach new people.
But
if you're
only
not
good
enjoying
reviews.
it,
just
then
don't
keep
rate
it to yourself.
Yeah, don't Mashiach energy. What brings Mashiach? Giving us a bad rating does not bring Mashiach.
And don't send comments like, "Oh, I wish it was longer."
No,
And-
that's
No, that
sweet.
was
That's just
sweet.
them reaching out to say thank
no,
you.
No.
And
It's like, but if it was longer, somebody else would say it was too long.
but that's easy. That's them reaching out to say hi in their awkward
We have
way.
been getting some really sweet DMs of people being like,
such sweet.
I
DMs.
listen to your podcast before while I'm doing my pre-Shabbos cleaning. Like I listen to it before bed. I listen to it like we've become part. We have loyal listeners. It's like we're a
Yes.
part of their daily.
It's very sweet.
Mashiachites.
routine.
Mashiachites.
And we love you guys. And I hope I didn't offend anyone with my dumb bitch energy today.
oh,
no,
stop
she's
it!
doing
No,
Lenny
no, no, no,
Kravitz.
no.
Okay, go ahead. What are you pushing?
I'm pushing. I'll be at Mohegan Sun. No,
Cut to these are going to be the shows of the century.
they're going to be amazing. I am doing the Zabar's Lunch Show with you and Judy Gold and Dan Natterman, December 11th at 1 o'clock with Old Jewish Men and Stand Up New York are presenting with Food by Zabar's.
What exactly is Old Jewish Man? I know it's a very popular Instagram account. It's actual group of old Jewish men, or it's like a
Old Jewish Men is a very popular Instagram account that was started by Noah Rinsky, who is the guy behind it. And he has these guys who work with him who are
Old Jewish
literally old Jewish men. And it's really to celebrate, well, exactly
Wow.
what you would think. But they're hilarious. And they did like a collab with like New Balance.
Oh, wow.
With
they
like
should do
the
a collab
Velcro.
with Carol.
Oh my God.
Well, they're
mean-
presenting they're doing the show with
That's great.
me. Well, Carol's not going to be at the show.
Maybe Carol could go to Mohegan Sun and walk through the casino.
Carol could walk through a casino.
What are they doing here?
Carol
and
could
no one would notice.
no.
No
Well,
one would
I-
ever just, this is,
100%.
missed the machines are over there.
That was what happened at Zabar's, though. Nobody really
No
knew
one batted
that
an eye.
I was not
In
like a
character.
real
In
thing.
character.
And I told you guys, I went to read a book at my son's third grade
In
class.
character, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was
so good.
amazing.
Okay.
All right.
So we thank you very much for listening. Wishing you and all your loved ones Mashiach energy. Make sure you're bringing Mashiach energy and not preventing it. Thank you very, very much.
Bye.
Bye.